Like, oh, I got too much. Hi, welcome to ABC's Film. This week we are watching a Best Picture winner. It's called The Apartment. It stars Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, Hope Holiday is one of the women in it. She doesn't star in it, but she's in it. She's alright in it.
She's one of the women in it, is she?
I can't remember the name of the boss.
No, it's Mr. Sheldrake.
Yeah.
Look it up, because I want to talk about him anyway. I want to refer to him by name. You leave this bit in.
Yeah, we'll get back to you after the jump.
On-camera research.
The Apartment is a movie about a man named C.C. Baxter who is trying to make it in the corporate world. And one of the ways he does that is letting the executives of his business use his apartment to sleep around in. And yeah, that's the base story of it. Obviously there's a love story involved because he falls in love with one of the women that the top boss is taking there for a quickie.
As far as I'm concerned, you are executive material.
I.A.L?
Now put down the key. And put down the address.
It's on the second floor. There's no name over the door. It just says apartment 2A. And it's that cold.
Relax, Baxter.
Yes, thank you, sir.
So, what did you think of The Apartment, Barry?
I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. This is
Yep.
one of my top 5, quite possibly. Full disclosure, I have seen this one before, but the first time I watched it, I was kind of like, I don't think I really got it. I remember speaking to my girlfriend at the time on the phone and being like, I watched this film, The Apartment, today. It was interesting. You know?
No, I thought it was
But
really good.
having watched it subsequently, I enjoyed it a lot more than I did the first time.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of one of those people where if I watch something with someone, I get more out of it,
Yeah.
which is kind of really strange. But no, this is probably the funniest one we've seen so far. I think also Jack.
I put it up there with All About Eve. In terms of humour, because it's not strictly speaking a comedy.
No, it's a
it's
drama with comedy elements.
Yeah, but it's very, very funny.
Yeah, and obviously something like Eve, you've got Betty Davis in there, and she's kind of fantastic. Jack Lemmon gives one of my favourite performances that I've seen so far in these films.
Yeah,
Jack Lemmon is absolutely fantastic.
So good in this, every movement.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something everything that he does, all of his little movements seem quite practiced and quite deliberate, but it works in a way. And even the way he turns on a light is funny.
Yeah,
which is the strangest thing. He just kind of inhabits that kind of. Nebbish character.
He's got the
really
kind of face where you know exactly what his character's thinking, but it's never over the top.
He's really expressive.
Yeah.
I kind of forgotten that he was in Some Like It Hot, so for me it's oh wow, Jack Lemmon's a really good comic actor. What a surprise. But no, he's absolutely fantastic in this.
I only really know him from Some Like It Hot, and I watched The China Syndrome, but that's the first time I saw it was a month ago, so I can't say that I'm a big
I've
fan.
seen Glengarry Ross with him in years and years ago, also The Odd Couple, and Grumpy Old Men I've seen as well, but that's kind of his Walter Matthau films that kind of the ones that propagate. But no, he really makes this film. It's one of my favourite performances, like I said. Probably second to Marlon Brando of a leading acting performance that we've seen in the Best Picture winners so far.
What do you think of Shirley MacLaine?
She was good. Obviously she's no Jack Lemmon, but she's really good in this too.
Well, she was in Around the World in 80 Days, and she was kind of...
Yeah, she just played a princess, didn't she?
Yeah, I'd heard the name of Shirley MacLaine.
Was she the Chinese princess?
Yeah, I think so. She was. She was the one that was going to be sacrificed.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, and then he ends up with her at the end.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh dear.
But in this, I thought she was I loved all of her her personality quirks, when she's sort of don't forget to wipe your nose, and then presses the elevator button and stuff. She's totally somebody I could fall for.
You know, that's the first thing I ever noticed about you. When you were still in the local elevator, you always wore a flower.
Good luck, and wipe your nose.
So she tries to commit suicide.
Yeah, in a comedy, which is kind of it's a
Yeah.
very brave choice.
And
isn't
it
it
very that really made me sit up because I was oh my god, because for a second I thought she was dead.
Yeah.
But she tries to commit suicide because she's in love with a married man.
And he won't leave it. Well, he's it's the character Mr. Sheldrake, who's the executive of personnel in the insurance company they work at, and she's having an affair with him. Or he's having an affair with her, rather, because he's married and has two sons. And he keeps saying, I'm going to leave my wife for you, etc., etc., etc. And then, at Christmas, they're together in Mr. C.C. Baxter's apartment, and he tries to pay her off.
Yeah.
Give her money. It's like,
Well,
here's a
she
present.
buys him a present, like
Yeah.
a well thought out present, you know, something that's meaningful to the both of them, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I didn't get you anything. Here's £100, $100." Sleaze.
I didn't quite know what to get you. Besides, it's kind of awkward for me shopping, so here's $100. You go and buy yourself something, huh?
They have some nice alligator bags at Bergdorf's.
But I was so not expecting like something like them committing suicide that she doesn't know that the apartment she's using is CC Baxter's, and they've also got a thing going on.
Yeah.
So when she picked up the pills, I thought she was going to see his name.
Oh, right,
And it was
okay.
going to be like, you know, oh, it's his apartment.
Yeah.
But no, it just cuts away, and then the next time you see her, she's like lifeless on the bed.
Yeah. It's never really kind of resolved as well. Like, she has a suicide attempt, and then the doctor comes in, and it's like, you got to be careful. Like, we're not out of the woods yet. They tend to do these things like more than once.
But
And,
she
like,
changes
after that-
her life.
Sort of.
Because, like, major spoilers,
She leaves.
she ends up with the owner of the apartment and not the sleazy executive, so presumably she's going to be happier. 'Cause
Yeah,
she's
so if you
playing
find the love,
gin.
if you find the love of your life, all your mental health problems just go away. That's what I hear anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I'm looking for the love of my life, Barry.
Yeah, I've never been miserable in a relationship.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Or all of them, I forget.
Come on, wake up. My God. Miss Kubelik? Miss Kubelik?
No,
The script was great. That's why I kept thinking it was like all about Eve.
Yeah.
Was because of like how well written it was.
It is
and
really
how-
well constructed the way they introduce each element. Like the first few scenes in the film are like he's introducing the insurance company he works at, and
Yeah.
that really great set we'll probably talk about later. And then it's like, you know, there's someone sleeping with someone in his apartment, and like he gets shut out, and like that's like an introduction to his life in the apartment.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's that really fantastic scene where he's phoning around because the key gets lost to his apartment.
Yeah.
And he's phoning around all the different people who use his apartment to commit adultery.
Yeah, because he's being forced by like the like head executive that uses his apartment. He's being forced to make sure that the apartment is free that night, but he's already planned to give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole chain of people that he has to keep phoning up, saying like, "Can you do it on Thursday? Oh, hold on." And
It's that really fantastic thing where it's like, oh, you know, 4 people are using my apartment. You could have done, but you know, the whole show don't tell thing. And it's
Yeah.
like, that shows you really well how deep the conspiracy goes.
Meeting for Friday. Friday. Let me see what I can do. I'll get back to you.
Premium-wise and billing-wise, we are 18% ahead of last year, October-wise. Hello? Yeah, Baxter, what's up?
Instead of Friday, could you possibly switch to Thursday? You'd be doing me a great favor.
Let me check. I'll get back to you.
And speaking of like setting things up, most things that are introduced, they're not particularly focused on, but you know they're going to be important
Yeah.
later. But they're like the key at the beginning.
That's a really good callback
Yeah.
because
At the beginning, he one of the executives accidentally gives him the executive washroom key instead of his apartment key back, and then later on, spoilers again, the way he quits his job is by giving him back the executive key by saying, "I don't want to be an executive anymore," and that's just like really nice.
that's
And,
really fantastic.
but also
yeah.
the champagne.
What champagne?
One of the executives turns up at his house and he's got a bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I need to use your apartment." He's like, "I can't do it right now. I've got
Yeah.
a girl, you know, she's commit suicide or whatever." So he goes off. But then later on when she's going back, she
yeah.
thinks that he's killed himself
Because
with a
the
gun
champagne
because the
pops.
champagne pops. And
Which
I just
I-
really liked that we knew where it came from.
Which I thought was very phallic as well. Because of the way the
Oh,
champagne was
because of the
pouring
champagne.
out. It was
I think you're
constantly
just seeing
coming
that,
out.
mate.
No, you put it on again.
Come on, Barry, let's watch you naked.
Oh, are you all right?
I'm fine.
What do they call it in companies where there's like they have the pit in the middle of the office where all the typists are?
Bull pit.
Is it the bull pit?
Yeah.
I was thinking bullpen, but I was like, but I was
might
also
be
thinking
pen.
golden ball. For
It
some
might be
reason.
pen.
Yeah, bullpen. Anyway, but it's the place where all the typewriters sit.
Massive set.
Yeah, it's mentioned at the start of the film that like 31,000 so many hundred people work at that company, and the way they illustrate that is by having, obviously there's loads of people going through the elevators, but they've got the main set on I think floor 22 where CC Baxter sits, and it's just like a massive.
Or 17 or
Something
19.
like
It's
that,
not
anyway.
important. But...
No, but it's a massive room where I have all these like computing machines. Like I think they're IBM computers.
Yeah, I don't know what they do say it's IBM.
These like fantastic old like computing typewriters.
It's almost like an automatic typewriter, isn't it? It just goes like do.
But the way the set's set up, so I was reading earlier, is like they have children in the back with like really small desks. So the way that works is they have smaller and smaller people going back, and then they have like small desks, and the back is a painting.
Yeah.
So you don't really notice that when watching it. I imagine you would notice it now looking at it.
That's clever.
But
I love stuff like that.
That's They mentioned in the special features again that it was their chariot sequence from like Ben-Hur, which we did last week. So it's kind of it's not, but it's still a pretty impressive set, and I think that's.
I like forced perspective.
Yeah.
It's, you can't do it with 3D.
No, but I love that it works as well. Like unless you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the same with like Lord of the Rings. That's what I really love when they do Hobbit scenes where like have Ian McKellen and Elijah Wood in the same, and then they turn the camera around and it's like they're really sitting.
Yeah, but that's like I mentioned, you can't do it with 3D, and that's why in The Hobbit a lot of it was green screen because they were filming it in 3D and they couldn't do the forced perspective tricks.
Cool.
Which is just one of the many reasons why that film's not as good.
Yes.
I refer you to Lindsay Ellis.
From Mr. Dobish.
Wait. Mr. Dobish.
Oh,
So
Barry,
I liked it.
What about black people? How many black people are in this film, Barry?
That's true.
They were all
This is a new thing that we've started doing unintentionally.
Yeah.
We've just been like, oh, there's a black person. Because without seeming like we're doing it because we're coming up on the civil rights movement, I think, or at least this is why it's in my mind. And there's very, very few black people in these films, and most of the time it's a Welsh man in blackface.
It's interesting to see the representation because like in a lot of the films we're watching, it's like they are black people, but they're background dressing, for like want of a better word.
They were like
personnel, they're janitors.
Yeah, they were the male people.
They're exotic dancers.
Yeah.
In Ben-Hur, for instance.
Oh, that doll that was in it. See, Jack Lemmon's character in his apartment. In the background, I kept pointing it out. There was like a massive, like, racist doll, I guess.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was like, it looked like it might be a ventriloquist dummy, but the camera was never focused on it. But it was definitely had that look of like it's racist.
Yeah, sure.
How do you spell her last name?
Uberlich, 2 Ks.
What's her address? Where does she live?
Why do you want to know? Doc? You have to report this to you. It's regulations. Well, she didn't mean it, Doc. It was an accident. She had to leave too much pain. She didn't know what she was doing. There was no suicide note or anything. Believe me, Doc, I'm not thinking about myself.
Aren't you?
So that's our review of The Apartment. We both definitely recommend it. I don't know if it's on Netflix or something, but
it was on Netflix when I watched it like 2 years ago. So maybe it'll be on there again.
So you should definitely give it a shot. It's well worth it. It holds up really well. It's not even aged. It's quite a modern subject considering the time that it came out.
Corporatism and all that, and adultery.
Yeah, the adultery side I wasn't expecting, where it's just kind of loads of people fucking all the time.
That's why I thought it was a weird film when I first watched it. I was like, this one Best Picture, this is about adultery. Yeah. It's really strange. But yeah, it's a good film. It's worth watching. It's really funny. One of the best ones we've seen. One of the things I quite like about like doing this whole Oscar thing is like you do discover films like this that have kind of been semi-forgotten but are really good as well. So I think this is one of those kind of hidden gems that people may not know about, but is really worth watching. Is really good. So yeah.
So get on that.
It's positive.
Go watch it now. You got nothing else to do.
Every night I bring her Frankfurt sandwiches, Frankfurt sandwiches. Oh, my baby loves those Frankfurt sandwiches, Frankfurt sandwiches. I try to win her with candy, ice cream and custard. But how she likes hot dogs with mustard.